मधुबन से नगारा बजेगा, कहाँ से बजेगा, कहाँ से बजेगा नगारा, कहाँ से बजेगा? दिल्ली से, मधुबन से नहीं। कहो चारों ओर से, एक तरफ से नहीं बजेगा, मधुबन से भी बजेगा। तो चारों ओर से बजेगा, तभी कुंभकर्ण जागेंगे। सुना मधुबन वाले, बहुत अच्छा। जैसे सेवा में अतकों के सेवा का पाठ बजा रही हो ना, ऐसे ये भी मनसा सेवा करते रहो। सिर्फ कर्मणा नहीं, मनसा वाचा कर्मणा तीनों सेवा करते भी हो और ज्यादा करना।
Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar. So today is Happy Dashera to everyone. And today's Friday, so in Avyakti journey, we'll be having another story also with chit chat. So please stay back with us. And also, we had to burn Ravan today, right? So let's do our series first. So today is the 15th day. Siddhi Swaroop, embodiment of accomplishment, image of bliss, image of coolness. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti, everyone. Just beautiful feelings to be blissful, in which you are untouched and keep aim to detach, observer, and watch each scenes of drama. It's really just drama. Because every Baba's child, every soul has purity, has love, has good feelings, good intentions. So the experience to be blissful, and especially when we notice not only our mind, but our intellect also. That intellect also is so deeply, in a way, peaceful. I can call it blissful. And how one virtue is connected with another. One awareness is connected, create automatically another awareness. From truth, the bliss emerges, and from bliss, you experience that coolness. Coolness is more like, one is like there are some people who are very cool in the sense of very slow and, they look tired. Not that kind of coolness. But internally here, especially I really, really admire when intellect is very calm, very cool. Generally, both mind keep working, intellect keep working. It's not that thoughts doesn't come, but they're not like consistent. Sometimes it's very deep quiet, and then yes, few thoughts come, then it's quiet, then few thoughts come. So it's a very, very beautiful experience of feeling bliss and also of coolness. Especially these days, intellect, then tension, then pressures, some or other. Intellect and mind are not cool. So for 2 days, yesterday, today, and of course it will be also tomorrow, I still into I soul a truth. So just be a point of light. Baba gives example that once you finish your actions, you withdraw from everything. But not only physically withdraw, but withdraw from the mind also, from the intellect also. And then really that's where the bliss is experienced. Bliss is a very, very deep quality. Happiness, yes. I can experience sorrow, yes. But bliss is very, very subtle experience of the soul. Free from desires, any temptations. It's like the sense organs are not pulling the soul. Soul is just on its seat, immortal, eternal. So automatically what I experience that from this image of truth emerges bliss. And when you are in bliss, as most of us, you all must have experienced also blissful stage. And from there, we move on to the coolness. Generally, when we say water is cool, weather is cool, just imagine if when it's coolness in the air, you all feel so refreshed, right? And if that coolness is in us, in the soul, mind and intellect, what everyone will feel. If weather can help us, how much my cool nature will help atmosphere, souls. And it's also a kind of sakaj, no? Like Baba is saying about Mansa Seva. Mansa Seva is what? You maintain a particular state of mind and stay in that, and you are spreading the vibrations. And feels very joyful because it's good that I am experiencing. I know that many, many will be experiencing same. Just as I said that souls say, please give me Sakash. So today I said, well, take Sakash. Because when you are, or each one of us, we are in blissful and cool, yeah, they can take it, right? They can experience same. It's not question of for me to give. They have to take it. So it's a very, very beautiful. As we're moving on, there are more experiences, more reflections. And of course, we're becoming the image and attaining that Siddhi also. And Siddhi is that I'm able to experience that quality. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So today is Vijayadashmi. So we had to get victory over Ravan. Vices. Victory is guaranteed, right? So 2 days before Baba said that the kingdom of Ravan will only finish when Mahabharat war takes place, right? So there is a deep connection between Ramayana and Mahabharata. So, of course, we know the significance, and today we had to kill 10 heads. So, all the vices from inside, we had, of course, we have done most of it, but we had to do the small ones, like, the little ones. So, let's see how, what the world does and the significance. So, let's kill the Ravan.
Day of victory over Ravan. So we all know Ravan is the symbol of 5 vices. That's Maya. You have to be Maya Jeet and Prakriti Jeet.
आज हर बच्चे को देख यही वरदान दे रही है.
May you be conqueror of Maya and master of the self. Make the 5 elements and the 5 vices your servers. In the golden age, the maids hold the trains of the royal costume of the world emperor and world empress. In the same way, the Confucius says, you children must remain decorated with the dress of your titles of conqueror of Maya and masters of the self. The 5 elements and the 5 vices will then hold your dress from behind. That is, they will move along while being subservient to you. For this title, your dress of titles with the belt of determination be decorated with sets of different costumes and ornaments and stay with the Father. Those vices and elements will then be transformed and become your cooperative companions.
आप तो सर्वशक्तिमान के साथी हो. माया क्या करेंगे?
विजयादशमी मनाओ, विजयादशमी मनाओ, विजयादशमी मनाओ, विजयादशमी मनाओ. रावण को तुम भस्म करो, अब राम से प्रीत जुटाओ. विजयादशमी मनाओ, विजयादशमी मनाओ, विजयादशमी मनाओ, विजयादशमी मनाओ, विजयादशमी मनाओ.
Okay, so now Didi would like to say something about Vijayadashmi. So let's hear from her about the Ravan.
Om Shanti. I think most of you know the word Vijay. Vijay means victory. And Dashmi means 10. So they show 10 heads of Ravan. So generally there are 2 definitions. When like they have symbol of Vishnu. So Vishnu is shown with 4 arms, right? 2 of Lakshmi, 2 of Narayan. So same as in Ravan, they show 5 heads of men and 5 of women. But also second meaning is 5 senses and 5 physical organs. Generally they call it 10. 5 senses and 5 sense organs. So victory over all 10. And that is what really, they have 9 nights of goddesses. So they show different goddesses. That is different virtue, power and conqueror of death, and that is time. Different like goddess of knowledge, Saraswati, goddess of completion, Lakshmi, when she is prosperity. So like this, every goddess. So that means we keep emerging within us all these divine powers. And then when you are inculcating those powers, you are becoming victorious over vices, over matter. Even your past sins are destroyed. You remember Dadi's slogan in Peace Village, Karmatit, Vikarmajit, Prakrti Jit, Maya Jit. That means to conquer all from the past also. Burn it, whatever is there. That is Vikarmajit. Karmatit means settle all karmic accounts. And also accumulated, elevated actions. Prakrti Jit, conqueror of elements. Maya Jit, so whatever are the leftovers of the vices becomes Maya. They keep coming, teasing, playing with us. So we have also to be conqueror of that. So victory. So that is why they really celebrate at every home. They burn big effigy. Baba says in Delhi there was a time they had 35 feet and they went along more 40 feet. And it's so interesting that the arrow of Rama is shot. So one head, then second one, then third one. But in the middle, they show the head of a donkey. That means he had control over elements. He had control over matter, control over so many things, all, but he couldn't recognize God. And so he started fighting with God. So someone is asking him, do you think you will ever win? He said, I know he is God, but I want to be killed by him so that I go to liberation. So whether he knew or not, but finally, no one, many very, very great warriors in the same army tried to kill him. They couldn't. But it was only when Lord Rama shot the arrow that he was killed, because that's how he was able to go to liberation. So that is what Baba says. Baba's murlis are Baba's arrows. Human beings can shoot arrows of knowledge, but they might just take a hole, right? Won't take you to liberation. But Baba's versions, Baba's arrows of knowledge, that is why we say Murli is very important. So that Baba's arrows of knowledge keep removing from us layers and layers of all the vices. And finally, we become victorious. So today is the day they really celebrate Vijayadashmi, they call it. Dashhara, thus also is 10. Hara means killed or removed. So whether we call it Dashera or Vijayadashmi, but it's after all the goddesses are worshipped, that means we invoke in us all those divine qualities, and then finally we are able to be the conqueror or victorious over all the vices. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So now we all know, right? Exactly what is Vijayadashmi is, and we are doing it. Almost there, right? So now today is a Friday, and we will be having our story time. So let's we get our homework, and then I have few announcements also. So let's get our homework first and drill, and then I'll do some announcements for tomorrow. We have a little bit some different program tomorrow, so please stay back and let's get our homework and drill first. So I would like to invite our dear brother Dave. Welcome.
Om Shanti to all the images of bliss. Om Shanti Didi. I really like this point. When we are in bliss, no sense organ will actually pull us. And from bliss, we are going into coolness. When we are experiencing coolness, then others feel refreshed. So tomorrow we can experience this coolness and give an experience of refreshness to others. Let's see what the homework is for tomorrow. Siddhi, image of coolness. The drill. I, the soul, inculcate coolness from the moon of knowledge. This coolness becomes the power of soul-conscious love. In the shade of Baba's coolness, I absorb happiness and bliss. Now let's practice this for a few minutes. Om Shanti.
Image of coolness. I, the soul, inculcate coolness from the moon of knowledge. This coolness becomes the power of soul-conscious love. In the shade of Baba's coolness, I absorb happiness and bliss. I, the soul, inculcate coolness from the moon of knowledge. This coolness becomes the power of soul-conscious love. In the shade of Baba's coolness, I absorb happiness and bliss. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So tomorrow we will be doing something new. So as we celebrated 9 nights of goddesses, so we invoked in us all the goddesses. And today we killed the Ravan, right? So now we have become real image of goddesses deities, right? So tomorrow, as we did last Saturday, we will be having Garba and Ras in the end. But before the series, as we always did spotlight on Sunday, but tomorrow also we will be doing the spotlight. And in that spotlight, you can wear your crown, you become like a deity, goddess, and we sit like a goddess and we'll share drishti to the whole world, right? Like feel like you're sitting in the temple. So you can put your maybe one color chunni and put your crown and become a goddess. What do you think? So this is the plan. But anyway, I would like to go through the whole program. So tomorrow morning, Amritula 3:30 a.m. to 4:45 a.m. Meditation starts at 6 a.m. followed by Hindi Avek Murli by Didi. English, Telugu, Tamil translation will be available until 8:30 a.m. Tomorrow is Saturday, Awake the Children class from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Evening, 6 o'clock, we start the meditation, 6:20 to 7. We will do Spotlight Living Goddesses Drishti sharing. So everyone, come with that consciousness that we all are goddesses and deities and have that spiritual vision for the whole world. Okay. I'm sure you will have some little kind of crown at home. So you can put the crown and little chunni around you if you want. If not, it's fine too. White is always nice, right? Scarf is like you put on your white dress, you put a little color scarf if you want, or if you have something, with the crown or something. So, or you just become an image of goddess, that's fine too. So that's, we will share that way tomorrow, the drishti. And then of course we have meditation, 7 to 7:30, then class and await the journey. And then we will be also having last Ras and Garba tomorrow for half an hour. So we'll do until 9 p.m. Ras Garba. If anybody would like to stay back, it's if you want to, it's not. So that's the program for tomorrow. And also tomorrow is the 3rd episode of our Awaken Your 8 Spiritual Powers. So please don't forget, we have to remind our friends and families, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. Om Shanti. Now it's time for stories. So let's welcome to Awake the Journey. Mohini Didi, the living light, exploring together the beauty and brilliance of the truth. So I'd like to invite our angel, Sister Wadi. Welcome, Sister Wadi.
Om Shanti, Sister Wadi.
You became too cool, Dev.
Well, that's what practice is doing to us, right? So happy Friday.
Thank you.
Story time.
Story time.
Right. So today we have perhaps a different type of a story than what we have done in the last few weeks. And this is from one of the sisters who traveled with Didi. So here you go. This was perhaps the first time I observed Didi do something that I would see repeated countless times more in the years that followed. We were driving from New York to Peace Village. I was a visiting BK who had the fortune of traveling in the same car as Didi. I was also a very young Brahmin at that time, and this was the first experience of significant time in Didi's company. During the journey, Didi, of course, took special time to ask after my welfare and learn more about me, which in itself was very touching. But what really stayed with me from that journey was a short exchange between Didi and the BK brother who was driving the car. They were discussing the upcoming program in Peace Village we were traveling to, and the topic Didi should explore. Didi shared some thoughts, but then asked the brother for his opinion on whether the topic was good. I was quite frankly dumbfounded. Didi's openness to feedback was so genuine and humble, and revealed in a second how Baba was able to build such powerful and trustworthy service teams through her. It has stayed with me to this day. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So, Mohini Ben, Om Shanti, welcome. So many questions in my mind. Sister Mohini there?
She will come, and yeah this is...
okay, there we are. The deity has come. First of all, just what you were sharing about, Vijay Dashmi and this image of I presume it was Ravan, because I didn't catch who was the character, that said he would only accept the arrow from God to be killed because he knew that if it was God's arrow, then he would be liberated. I think that's so beautiful and so true of the confluent sage. I guess for all of us, that's the only arrow that we would accept, and to be killed, if you like, or die a living death with God. And so before I get on to the questions of the other thing, what I wanted to ask you is, I've seen pictures of Brahma Baba, you know, decorated like an emperor, but these were pictures from Hyderabad and Karachi. But I have no sense, I have never heard any of the daddies, anyone speak of how, if Baba did celebrate any of the festivals, if he actually did anything at Janmashtami or Diwali, or I've never heard stories, I've never seen pictures. And so I was wondering, did he just treat them as another day, or did he allow the children to engage? Now it's such a big production, you know, and on all the campuses, they're competing with each other for lights and one thing and another. But I'm wondering, how was Baba in those days? Did you ever see him engage?
I think that when they were in Karachi, then not necessarily festivals, but Baba used to like keep them entertained and light, and so the trans messenger will go and get a scene. Whatever she will see, she will come and tell. So there were some older sisters, they were like good tailors. So they had a lot of material. They will, you know, stitch the costumes, make the crowns, and every evening or most of the evening, they have some of that display, living goddesses or living, that definitely I know. But festivals, because generally, you know, Baba always said that these are festivals, your memorials, but they are like bhakti, you know. I think that many things we start doing it, like during Brahma Baba's time, we were never tied Rakhi, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is what I was curious about. Because I've never heard any stories.
Yeah, so I'm coming.
Yeah.
So I think that he really didn't want it to go into all this bhakti, but from Murli, like, you know, he talks about Ramayana, he talks about Mahabharata, and now there are so many people in Bharat and also abroad. They don't know anything about Ramayana and, you know, Bhagavad and Gita. So sometimes we think that how to get them acquainted, how to, you know, so we create all these little things so that they know what exactly it is. Because yesterday or day before, I was saying that one of the sisters created a video with all the whatever references are in Murli from Ramayana. She has actual scenes, and it's beautiful. I was telling Bhumi when we should locate that video and just show for one instant. So actually, thought is more about getting aware of that, knowing more. It should not be seen as a bhakti, but it's our memorials. So it's good to understand, you know. So that many are now relating with goddesses. Like last year we did it so much, you know. This year we didn't do much. So that everyone can understand why they are shown with symbols or weapons or crown or line and, you know, different kinds of things.
So just, you know, reminding us about the early days in Sindh. And you've heard me say it before, where, and I haven't had the thought in quite some time, but the beginning and the end being the same. And I somehow have this sense of what you're doing, maybe without intending to, but that it's you are replicating just in a very natural way what happened at the beginning. You know, that the whole family's together in the evening, and there's the stories, and there's the gyan, and there's this whole combination of things. I think it's a kind of a repeat. And the other thing that catches my attention, and again, just sharing my own experience, where I had completely finished bhakti when I came to Baba, and I knew, you know, if they're praying or whatever, it's not what I'm looking for. But in terms of my Brahmin life, that interest in bhakti, not so much in the ritual and stuff, but the stories and the, you know, whether it's the Ramayana or the Bhagavad or whatever, that they're so profound. I really, really love the wisdom in the stories. But one thing that catches my attention too, I think, and you can clarify for me, you know, we speak of the original qualities of the soul, but there's no goddesses for those original qualities other than Saraswati, I think. I mean, I don't think there's a goddess of bliss or purity or peace, or is there?
No, not of, but love definitely, no? But not these goddesses, but there are other, you know, I can think of, there are some who are also symbol like goddess of peace, you know, Shanti Deva, you know, God of peace. But, you know, one of the thing when we created program, because it started from the Rijanti, that how to connect Baba's new children or even old ones with the yagya.
Yes.
And with the ancestor souls, because many didn't know anything. So what comments we get, like taking them at that time, is giving them really, really good experiences. Like they come to know, you know, now we are taking Adi Ratan, that means original jewels, each Dadi once in a week, or Brahma Baba speaking Murli, Mama is speaking Murli, you know. So it's really, even for me, I feel so good. You know, I feel so secure and protected. Oh, we are in Yagya, we are with Baba, Mama, Dadis together. That was one.
I know. It's the beginning of the Yagya again, Mohini.
Yeah. And secondly was to see how all Baba's children know whatever Baba speaks in the Murli.
Yes.
Because otherwise they mostly think, oh, we have nothing to do with it.
Nothing
Some say
to do with it.
half of the Murli is bhakti. I say it's not bhakti, it's your story.
No.
If you listen to everything as your story, then it's different than saying it's bhakti.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that was
It's
another
profound.
thought. I remember that one sister last year, you know, she was not in all these goddesses, all that. But some or other last year, she washed every day. So when she did it, she said, I never realized that there is so much meaning, so much significance. And I connected now every time she mentions that. You know, so there are some Baba's Brahmins who were never, but of course there was no interest, but it's the time of festival. So one is, of course, we want everyone to be aware, but also many of us miss now because we are not in India, right?
Right.
So if we were in India, even if we want, but a lot of service takes place and thousands of people go. You know that in Calcutta, I went many years ago during this time, 9 nights of goddesses. And so they had these living goddesses, you know, so we had to explain and all that, lot of service.
Yes.
So I think that I want world family, especially in other countries, to connect with what Baba is saying and relate to your own self and see how the story connects with me, you know.
Yeah.
So we will try to see if in month of November we could do a little bit different.
Honor, I'm not, you know, I enjoy very much the bhakti aspect, and it's, as you say, the connection with our own story and the depth and the wisdom and the truth that is there. It's I really only appreciated bhakti when I gave it up. Yeah. So back to the story, and a couple of things. A bold message that you did while we were in Peace Village last weekend, you were saying that only blessings can protect you, and that whatever service you do in such a way that you are protected. And so I was wondering about that you being an example, like the sister mentioned, that she was, to use her words, dumbfounded. She was so shocked to see what for you is a normal thing. Now, does being an example, does it only work as a blessing if the other person does something with it?
See, I think recently one of the Murli, Baba talked about service, that you don't have desire or you don't want anything from whom you're serving, because I'm serving for Baba and of course for the soul. So when you are really, really desireless and selfless and serving with very, very pure feelings, then, the souls really from their heart start blessing you, whatever little they got knowledge or. So I like the point when Baba said, those who get maximum blessings also get a great part to play.
Wow.
And last Sunday only, and I immediately was touched, because a lot of people ask us, there were so many dadis, why some of dadis were so prominent, and same happens with the sisters and brothers. It's the accumulation of blessings they have. So when they have accumulation of blessing, their part will be in yagya, a big one. And after that, I myself realize, and I keep everyone, serve from the heart. It's a big thing or a small thing. You will, once you get blessings, your part will be very great,
Wow, that's beautiful. So, I mean, automatically people will give you blessings because of what they've gotten from you, but that your actions work like a blessing on them also. And so what I was curious about is making this distinction between being a sample and being an example, and how that works in terms of blessings of others getting that as a blessing for themselves, which they can use.
It's so interesting that when you have love and respect for everyone, even if they are in Gyan, they are very new, right? To kind of know their perspective. I remember, I don't know, you were there in London, but that time, Jayanti Dadi, myself. So I think once in a week we used to go this, one of the place to give lecture. I am forgetting the name, some spiritual association.
Oh yeah, the Spiritualist Association. That's what it was called. Yeah.
So we, in the car, Jayantivan had to talk, I have to talk, and Dadi Janki, like we all will share all the time, what should be told, what should we speak. It's not what I think I'm going to just speak. It's like it's a kind of, this is how I grew. Even now I ask sisters here, what would you say about this topic? What would you say about this? But this way also other person could churn and share, because out of 6, maybe 1 will give lecture. But if you get little bit from everyone, it's a different kind of feelings too. So that has become like our nature. I mean, seeing Dadis doing it, and of course, I like always to know from other person, what would you think about this topic if you have to speak? And they come up with very, very good ideas. Even the younger ones, when I ask them, they tell me very good things, which maybe I hadn't thought that way. No, because everyone's intellect, stage, their part they're playing, they will come up with something. So setting example is really, just say working together, talking together, thinking partners. Now you live a kind of, this is how it should be. Not that you think you do it and that's it. So I think we have to at every step remember what I do. It's easy for others also at the right time to do it. Maybe they might not immediately do it.
Do you have that? Is it a consciousness anymore? I think you're past this, but where, how Baba would advise us that have the awareness that you're on the stage 24 hours a day, but that could be very stressful, if you had to think like that. And so you're past that stage, but for those of us who are not there yet, maybe some suggestions.
No, I don't necessarily all the time think of I am on the stage, but naturally, like follow Srimad, do things accurately, keep your, stage. So it should be really very natural, no? Because if you are aware you are on the world stage, yeah, definitely there will be a lot of tension.
Yeah.
Right? So it has to be natural.
I was thinking, I know that you're beyond this, but again, help us, where just like the sister who told the story about how she was so struck by what you did and your humility as she perceived it, that maybe we all know to some extent where a new person will think that we did something very wonderful and so on. But then with familiarity, they become aware of our flaws. And so how do I make sure that that does not turn into a disappointment for them? That first my ego's not affected, but that they don't lose. It's like, oh, I thought you were like this, and now I see you're like that. So tell me how to handle that.
You always have to say, follow Srimad, understand Srimad, and like wherever I find that certain things are different, if you are sensible, you will still do what is right. One is to look at what seniors are doing. Other is, for me, many things, this is Baba Srimad, this is what I have to do. So we always have to remember that we have to follow Srimad. We have to remember one Baba. It's not they start remembering us or so some of these are the foundation points for everyone, new ones also. So they are not disappointed by, sometimes it could happen, the mood and the temper or over stress. And, these are, everyone is a human being and everyone might go through various different experiences and stage. So I'm not following a person, right? I'm following Brahma Baba and I'm remembering Shiv Baba and I have to just follow Srimad. So rather what I do, I have helped even seniors when I see they going through something physical or whatever. I kind of supported them instead of saying, oh, nice. I didn't know that Dadi will be like that. I know that wherever they are, and I respect them, but also wherever they need my cooperation and support. And that's where the true love also is, no? So you are seeing a teacher as teacher, but also teacher also is a effort maker. And
but that's your maturity.
Yeah, but here I tell everyone that if you see anything, there are young sisters and sometimes they do certain things. You don't talk amongst yourself, you let me know. Yeah. I will take care because they have come to stay with me and I'm supposed to guide them. So we have created this kind of culture that, so they find this one is very forceful or controlling. So they will call, she does so much, but still if she can, but not talk amongst yourself.
That's a good
Because
point.
then
I like that.
creating karmas to know when we talk against anyone. I said everyone is effort maker. We are effort makers. They are effort makers. So don't, point out finger to anyone. If we consider all of us as effort maker, Mama used to say it is a race. You can go ahead. Why are you looking at someone's defect? Right?
Yes. That's great, Sister Mohini. I really like that. That's a lovely consciousness, and that you can go ahead. Why talk about somebody else, and to tell others that it's not about talking amongst yourselves. That take it somewhere or to someone who won't be affected by it. That's lovely. So, Dev Bhai, did you want to sing us a lullaby to finish the story?
I think, Didi, you have shared this probably a few times in the past in different ways, that I think getting the maximum blessings to play a greater part. And in one of the previous things, you also have mentioned about we need God's blessings as well. So I'm understanding that it's Baba's blessing and plus the blessing of all the good actions that we do. That's kind of what takes us to that higher part of better service to everyone in the Yagya.
I think that Baba loves you more. When everyone bless you, he loves you more. So that I feel that is the blessing one gets, because Baba feels you are doing it right, you are doing it in a good way. I mean, that love is a blessing also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
So much.
Thank
Till
you.
next Friday.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much, our angels, Sister Body, and Brother Dev, and of course our Didi. So thank you. And don't forget, tomorrow is our Goddess Day, right? So everyone come like a goddesses, deity form. So you can wear your crown and have that image and awareness and invocation in ourselves. And of course, in the end, we will do little Ras Garba to conclude our Navratri and Dashera. Okay, so let's remember Baba.
Om Shanti. Happy Dashera, burning of Ravan. Yes. Om Shanti. Good night, everyone. Good night.